Are you worried about buying an electric car because of taking it abroad? Or have you just brought one and thinking, actually, I don't know what I'm doing taking it abroad this summer? Well, stay tuned. I'm going to show you how to take this electric car through 3 countries in Europe without any hassle. This is my planned journey. I'm starting from Corsham, just east of Bath, and I'm driving all the way around the M25 to Harwich, where I will get onto the ferry overnight on Sunday night to Hook of Holland, which is day one of our trip. Day two, when I land at Hook of Holland, I'm driving all the way down to Eindhoven in the southwest corner of Holland, and then we'll be there for work for a couple of days. Having then done the work, I then need to drive back, but instead of coming the same way back on the overnight ferry, because I need to be in work early on the Thursday, I'm actually driving along through Belgium and France to Calais, where I'm taking the Eurotunnel, and then driving home late to home on the Wednesday night, which is day 4 of my trip. My plan at the moment, looking at it, is to charge in Harwich. Then that will see me enough charge to get me over to Eindhoven, where I will charge again to get me to Calais, and then from Calais should be enough charge to get me home. But that's dependent on my plans and the traffic, and also being able to make sure I get the intended mileage per kilowatt that I intend to get. With my car, I should be getting about 4 miles per kilowatt. So that's the plan. Let's get the journey underway. I'll start the trip. So the car's got 12,000 miles on the clock. I'll tell you a bit more about the car later on in the video. And we're at 80% charge of the battery, which is telling me I've got a range of 284 miles. So I'm going to put in my destination, which is the Stena terminal at Harwich, which is there, which is the first leg of our journey. So it's telling me it's 196 miles to go, so well within the range of the car. So let's get on the road and we'll catch up when I'm in Harwich. I'm on my own, so I won't be doing any filming while I'm driving to keep us safe and legal. We've just arrived in Harwich, or to be fair, Parkston Quay. So I'll turn the camera around. I have got, on the clock, zoom in, let it focus, 22% battery, 74 miles. So my little head-up display, which you can't really see. You can a little bit. But yeah, 22% on the battery, 74 miles. Been averaging 4 miles per kilowatt, which I'm quite happy with. So I pulled into the McDonald's just up the road. You can see on display there. So on the heads-up display of the car, so you can see we're here, ready to go. I'm going to charge the car now. So we're going to be fully charged for when we get off the boat the other side. So let's go and get ourselves plugged in. We're fully charging up, starting to get ourselves ready. So we're getting 47 kilowatts. That's a little bit going up slowly. I'm looking forward to seeing that going up to about 90 odd. Certainly at this current rate, we'll be charging the car to where I want it to get to within about half an hour. This is the car that we're driving today. It's a VW ID.7 Pro S, which means it's got an 86 kilowatt battery, and I'm going to move before I get run over. We are back in the car. I managed to not get myself run over. This is the infotainment display. So the car that we're in, as I just said in the video a minute ago, is a VW ID.7. It's a Pro S model, so it has an 86 kilowatt battery when fully charged. Now, you'll hear lots of stuff if you're into electric cars or considering electric car about protecting the battery. So you'll see in front of us, I only charge this one to 80%. So lots of people I know who've had electric cars a long time. So if you want to look after the battery, you only ever charge them to 80%. You would also try and minimize fast charging like I'm doing. To be fair, with a long journey like this, you don't really have a choice. So you can see there, the time now is just before, it's 7 minutes to 7, and we're going to be charged within the next 25 minutes. My maths is right, 35 minutes, 25 minutes, get it right. Anyway, so we're going to be fully charged. That will get us nicely charged before we're on the boat. So what I want to be is able to do my journey down to Eindhoven tomorrow in a wanna, which I will be able to more than do. So we should be about 270 miles fully charged. I think the journey's just over 100. Which will mean that I can get me down there. I've got a meeting tomorrow morning, so I don't really have time to stop when I get off the boat. I'll show you some videos in a minute as we go on and off the boat, and some of the bits that we need to do to get ready for driving abroad. So I'm going to talk about the car. Now I've moved, so I'm going to get run over. So as I said earlier on, it's a VW ID.7 Pro S. This particular car is just over a year old. I brought this car myself, so a bit unusual. In fact, both our electric cars are second-hand, brought outright rather than on a salary sacrifice scheme. So this car used to be the dealer manager's car of Volkswagen Cardiff, so I bought it when it was about 8 months old with 9,000 on the clock. It's a pretty sizable car, as you can see. It's the Volkswagen MEB platform, and it's particularly long in this particular format. This state format is absolutely massive, which is perfect for my needs. For this trip, I don't really need a car this big, but the battery is perfect for my needs with the 86 kilowatts. Now, it gives a WLTP, which means World Life Test Performance, 424 miles. The reality of it is you're probably looking to get about 360 on 100% charge with this one. As I said earlier on, I've actually stopped in the McDonald's on the outskirts of Harwich at Parkston Quay. Now, it's worth saying that the reason I've done this is the fact that actually there's quite a few fast chargers in and around Harwich. Now, this one isn't advertised on my VW app, but before I've done this trip, I've researched all of my charging points on the Zap map. So if you're new to EVs and you're new to doing international journeys, I would thoroughly recommend downloading Zap map before you go. I'll put a link in the description to this video where you can get it. It will show you all of the EV charging locations, how much it will cost. It will show you real time if they're in use or not, which is a godsend. Now, my ferry's not till 11 o'clock tonight. I'm here at 7 o'clock, so I'm here in plenty of time. If I'm being honest, this is the first time I've actually done an international trip in this car since I've owned it, so it's a new one for me as well as it is for you. And therefore, I really wanted to make sure I got here in plenty of time, so I had absolutely no worries about getting chargers. If you look on Zap Map, there are at least another 3 charging stations in and around this area, so just before you get onto the ferry. The other bit to be really cognizant of if you are taking a car abroad is to check with your operator how full the battery can be. So Stena, I checked beforehand, I'm going with Stena line over to Holland. There's no restrictions on how full the battery can be. Some ferry operators, less so in the UK, but in other areas, will put a limit of things like 40% after accidents have happened before, perceived issues with cars which have had batteries more than 40% charged. So for me, I wanted to be 100% sure that I wasn't going to get turned around at the ferry port, which we'll go over to in a minute when we're fully charged. I've got 20 minutes to go by the looks of it. But absolutely check with your operator beforehand if you need it to be fully charged. The other bit I want to talk about now is actually why am I driving an EV abroad to Holland? If you'd been filming this 6 months ago, I'd have been driving a 2-litre diesel Mondeo. Now, that is a vehicle you would never have to worry about range anxiety in, because you'd fill it up back at home before I left home. I would do this whole trip on a whole tank of diesel, which is about 650 miles of diesel, and fill it up when I get home and not worry about it the whole trip. So that is very different to managing with an EV. But the realities of it are the Mondeo was getting older, I had to move it on, and what I was finding with modern diesel cars is you've got a lot of complexity, like diesel particulate filters, EGR valves. In the case of some cars, that dreaded wet belt, which is the timing belt running in oil, which is a horrendous idea, but somebody thought it was great, which means that you're going to be changing your oil a lot, and actually the complexity and reliability was starting to become a concern. And I'd always said to myself, when you get an electric car that can do at least 3 hours and is in a state, that's one for me. Fair to say, this ID7 has only been available on the market about 2 years. It's perfect for my needs. You can probably see over my shoulder, I've got my bike in the back of the car because I'm taking the bike with me. I also use it for carrying my Model Row if you've seen my other videos. So again, the big estate, they're rare, but they are producing them. Up until a few years ago, you could only buy an MG. However, now you've got lots of BMW, I think Porsche do some as well. The VW clearly is a cheaper end of that. But certainly from a need to my needs, it's perfect. Well, we're just coming up to 1917 as per when expected charging to finish, and we're at 79% of battery. So I am going to stop it charging, unplug us, and then get us over to the other side of the road to get into the boat. That's us hopefully stopping and get out of the car. unplug, and all good. 80% charge, and that has cost me £44.39. We'll come back to the cost at the end of this video, where I'll do a comparison versus diesel. Here we are. It's a bit dark. We've been sat in the queue for half an hour, so I found through my work emails, ready to go. So we've got a pink sticker on the windscreen. Just tells the general cars. Used to be get green and white UV sticker, but not anymore. I'm moving forward, so I didn't get run over. And there is our boat waiting to load us on. Apparently it's a busy car tonight, talking to staff here, so I'm hoping I'm going to be near the front getting out. I'm in a hurry. Need to use my Stena loyalty to get me the VIP membership to get us at the front. But let's get on the sea on the boat. Another little trick. Obviously, I'll talk about safe and legal driving abroad. I'm a transport professional for my job, so you'd expect me to be. One of the things with these modern cars is actually you no longer have to change the headlights to left-hand drive using bits of tape or the marker kits, which used to cost me a fortune to do this, because you just go into the vehicle setting and then click on the headlights and then go driving on the left, driving on the right. Now, that means that when I head out in the morning, my headlights are safe, legal. I'm not going to be blinding any of the drivers on the left-hand side of the road, on the other side of the road. It's worth saying, if you're considering an ID7, one of the features I love the most about it is the ID headlights. So you can, let's go over here, you can see I've got them in, that's the little A with the in the headlight symbol. That means they're automatic. They're basically at night will go onto main beam. It takes some getting used to, but when they go onto main beam, when they see a car coming towards them or you're up behind a car, they'll put a little black box over it so it doesn't blind the driver, but you get a fantastic level of illumination, and it actually follows the car as you go around bends. So it takes some getting used to. No idea how expensive they'll ever be to replace if they get damaged, but fantastic bit of kit and makes driving abroad a little bit easier. We're on the boat. Final job, turn the interior monitoring off. I don't want to flatten the battery anymore, so than it would be if the alarm went off. So that's us parked up inside. I'm going to go and find the cabin and crack open a beer. Day 2, beautiful morning. We are just approaching the coast of Holland, being chased by a container ship. And over there, just where the sun is rising, stay out of the wind, otherwise you'll just hear wind noise, is the coast of Holland. Well, I'm now off the boat. We are just waiting to get through the customs and passport control, which, to be fair, at the moment, if you are going to Europe this summer, something to bear in mind, they're introducing new fingerprinting and photo taking ID to avoid customs stamps on your passport. So it might take a bit longer to get through. I've got 91 miles to go to my destination. The display says with 77% charge on the battery. Which actually 268 miles. So I've got loads and loads of mileage to get me to Eindhoven. Moment saying I get there 10:06, just because of the time it's taken me to get off the boat. I was near the back. But I'm going to have to stop for a work call I need to do prior to on the way down. But other than that, we'll then be on the way down to Eindhoven. And in terms of, this is the queue, beautiful day over in sunny Hook of Holland. Well, made it to Eindhoven. I'm recording this just at the end of the day. I have to rush in for a meeting, but we've got 53% left on the battery, 194-mile range. In terms of my next leg, that's just about enough to get me to Calais for the Eurotunnel back on Wednesday night. I'm filming this on a Monday. I've just put in the sat-nav, my hotel for today, so it's only 4 miles away, but luckily with the ID7, lots of cars, you can see obviously all the charging stations. Stopover I've put in is a BP Pulse one, which can give me the full fast charge, so that's the one I'm going to navigate my way to now. So, my charging plan went a little bit different. As you can see, this does not look like a BP Pulse. It is a untethered charger, rather, which is actually at my hotel room for the night. So I'll explain why in a second when I get inside the car and warm up a bit. My intention was to go and charge at a local BP Pulse, as I showed you on the sat nav earlier on. However, the BP Pulse garage that I went to didn't actually work. I tried to pay with my card, but it wouldn't accept it. I tried to pay my BP Pulse card, it wouldn't accept it. I then tried a 300 kilowatt charger at a hotel around the corner, and despite downloading the Allego app, I was unable to get the car to charge. So that was a little bit frustrating. However, I've come to my hotel for the night. I was going to park up and decide to see where we go. From there, only to notice that the hotel actually had electric chargers. Now, the ones that I'm on is an 11 kilowatt hour charger. The beauty of this is often these are much cheaper. So if you are staying away, you are staying somewhere, always worth checking your hotel first and foremost. Do they have chargers there? Are they available? By the looks of it, there's 8 chargers in this hotel here. And there's another VW van parked up further on the chargers. The time now, if I turn the key round, is 8:30 at night. So I got here about 7 o'clock. I think we're about 52% charge on the batteries. I'm not going anywhere tonight, so it's fine. I've had my dinner. You can see from here we're getting about 10 kilowatt chargers, which is perfect. You'll see the space in kilometers. Handy little thing with this car is you can change the displays and speeds from kilometers to miles and back again. So I've done that so that get the speed limit signed. But you can see we're going to be about just under an hour and we'll be fully charged. So I will pop out in an hour and I will charge it up. I'll take the charge, take it off charge, go and stow the lead away, which is my own lead, which is the usual thing that if not careful you forget. But that will give me enough charge to get me all the way through Holland, Belgium, and to Calais tomorrow. I have learnt from my experience, so I've downloaded the app for the chargers at Calais, which we'll talk about when we get there. My plan tomorrow is not actually to use the car at all. So today's Monday. Tomorrow I will be using my bike, which is currently in the back of the car, to cycle to work and back, which is perfect for me. When you're in Holland, this cycling is fantastic. And then I'll use the car on Wednesday to drive to the office before I go on from the office to Calais. Good morning. Beautiful day 4 here in Eindhoven, and it's my final day of the journey. So I'm just in the hotel. I have put into the sat nav the destination where we're going, so that's the Eurotunnel port at Calais. It's 180 miles away. We have on the clock 256 miles, so probably going to be arriving in Calais with exactly the same sort of amount of charge that I arrived in Harwich. Now, I've done my research with my Zap map, just based on obviously some of the challenges I had on Monday night. So I know that there's a charger in Calais. I've downloaded the app, which should be fine. I really want to use the charger there because the electricity is significantly cheaper to charge the car in France compared to the UK. However, if I do have some problems, then I will just hop on the train, get us over to Folkestone, and probably stop at Ashford Services. So feeling pretty confident. The only bit I'm worried about is around, go back. Around Antwerp is pretty ropey traffic, so can be notorious based on what my colleagues have said. So I'm going to get us on the road. I will go into the office, and then I will. Next bit of filming will be from Calais. Bit of wind noise. We're here in Calais. Wanting to go to Eurotunnel. I've got the car charging, which is fantastic. I'll get the car and explain why. Right, we're charging. Been a little bit more stressful, partly my own fault. So the first charger I got connected to, or tried to connect to, I couldn't get to work, and I was about to give up. But then I tried the charger around the corner, managed to connect to it. Now, this is with ENG Viano company. So I downloaded the app. Every time you put a charge in, it takes payment on your card. Unbeknown to me, when it took my payment, it puts a charge on it. I didn't have enough money in the account, so after 2 minutes, I'd maxed out my bank account. So I've just transferred some more money to my international card, and we're charging again. Now, worth saying, there's a real good reason why I'm desperate to charge in France, and this is quite simply because I'm getting a fast charge at 50 cents a kilowatt hour. That's about half what it'll cost me in the UK. So We're currently charging. Missing kilometres. We're at 20 minutes to go. It's 5 o'clock French time. I've got a work, or just coming at 2. I've got work call at 5:05, which I'll do from the car. I managed to get myself on an earlier Eurostar. So hopefully I should be able to get home in one hit when I get back to the UK. Worth saying as well, if you can see it down here, there's a little sticker. Now, all cars, if you go to France, you need to have what they call a crit air sticker. So that tells the French authorities what classification of emissions the car is. This one's obviously green because it's electric, which means you can drive it pretty much anywhere. I'm back in the car. So last part of the video, I was just getting the charging sorted. So like I say, a little bit more stressful, but probably my own fault not having the money on the bank. I've converted the units back to miles, so you can see the sat nav is saying it's 207 miles to home, which is perfect because I have 275-mile range. So probably a key bit to talk about now, talking about electric cars, is you have to think about the morning after as well. So my wife originally was saying I have to drive to Slough tomorrow, which would have meant she wouldn't have been a happy bunny if I'd have left the car with no charge on the in the battery. It would have been charged up overnight, but probably not enough, so she'd have had to have fast charged it. As it is, the plans have changed. So my plan is I'll literally to drive straight home from Folkestone at the other end. Be driving straight home in a one, no stop, which will get me home time on my earlier trip. So we're on the 1746 Eurostar. It's about Eurotunnel. It's about 45 minutes on the train, and then it'll be a couple of hours at the other end, 2.5 probably getting back. So all good. Really looking forward to being back in Blighty. And that's it. Back in the UK, journey's end. Did it in the Wanna. Got 24% on the clock left of the mileage. Pretty uneventful journey. I'm going to wrap up the filming in the car bit, and then we're going to move on to the economics of this trip and my top tips for driving abroad. I guess a key comparison, although not the key part of the video, is comparison of diesel cost versus electric. So based on if I'd have used my old Mondeo, I would have taken, to do 641 miles, which is what it cost, which is what I did, it would have cost me £110.91 based on diesel price at £2.02 a litre, which is what our local filling station was charging at the time I did the trip, which was just on the 19th of April. Now, it's worth saying fuel price has come down a bit since then, but when you look at the electric cost on the right, I've had to calculate it slightly differently. So what I've done is added up each of the various charges, and you can see quite a variety in the cost of charge. So 6.5p for my initial charge at home to get me to 80%, and then 87p per kilowatt hour. So effectively the same charge, I use virtually the same kilowatts, but shows the difference of home charging versus on the road. Holland, I obviously got a cheaper rate of 45p a kilowatt because I was charging at the hotel on a slow charger. But then shows how good value Calais is in terms of it was a fast charger. I charged the car for 46 kilowatts and it only cost me £18. So the total cost is £77 for the trip. So almost 2/3 of the cost. So it shows a real saving versus diesel if you're doing quite a long trip this summer. So something else to bear in mind. My final bit of this video is my top 5 tips taking an EV abroad. Number 1. It's pretty obvious like the UK, but download an app to show you where the chargers are. It really does help. Something like ZapMap, as I'm going to put in the description, tells you where the chargers are, where it's available, how much you'll be paying for kilowatt hours. Number 2, once you've got your app, you can plan your route and charges in advance. It's pretty critical in my mind that you actually know an idea of where you're going to charge. That also links me on to point 3. Make sure you have a plan A, B, and C. Especially as you saw when I was struggling a bit in Eindhoven, I had to choose other chargers where I could go and try and charge, and in the end ended up charging at my hotel, which if I'd have planned and checked in advance, as is tip 4, I would have known that my accommodation had charging, and actually it would be cheaper than trying to charge it on a fast charger. And in my final one, if you go to France, charge in France. It is really cheap. As you saw, fast charge is significantly cheaper than the UK. So if you are taking an EV abroad, good luck this summer. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're thinking about buying an EV, hopefully it's given you the reassurance that actually it's not as hard as you think to take it abroad. Safe travels. Thanks for watching and see you soon.